Hello everyone, welcome to Res Snapper. My name's MJ and this is Snap or Pass, where we look at the brand new cards coming to the game each and every time one is released. Apart from Zombie Giant Man, because I sort of didn't do a video for it. This week we've got Sanctum Showdown and a brand new card coming. It's a one-cost skill. I know you can't see that, but it is. And it's called The Hunger. On reveal, Horde +3. In this video, we're going to be talking about my deck suggestions for you, what I think about the card, is it actually good, yada yada. You can skip to the section you want using the chapters below, but true legends stay until the end. So, The Hunger. Get ready to feel the hunger. Is that... Someone says that, right? Is that like Kung Fu Panda? Is that Kung Fu Panda or is it someone else? I'm not too sure, but that is definitely a phrase that people say, I think. Anyway, The Hunger. You can obtain this through the returning game mode Sanctum Showdown. We don't know too much about this as at time of recording. I'm recording this like the day before Sanctum Showdown comes out, so we don't know too much about this. The price that we're talking about for this item, I think in previous ones, or I should say in the most recent Sanctum Showdown, I think there were 2,000 charms for the new cards. It could be that. If I were a gambling man, I'd probably say it'll be 2,000 charms, but we don't know. Otherwise, you can get it in seasonal Series 4 snap packs from November. That's when it should show up in there. And there is this Ivan form invariant, which, again, I'm not 100% sure how you get that, actually. Anyway, let's talk about the mechanics for The Hunger. This is, of course, adding to the Horde mechanic, which is brand new this season of Marvel Snap, the zombie season. If you don't know by now, what have you been doing? You've been sleeping under a rock or just not playing, which is fair enough, and just haven't come across Horde. That's absolutely fine. But Horde, what it does is it creates a token, a 0/0 token of a zombie horde in a different location from where you've triggered it, and then it adds power to that horde of whatever it is. So for example, if you don't have a horde and you play The Hunger, you'll generate a horde token, a 0/0, and then give it +3 power. So it'll be basically a 0/3 sort of. But if you already have a zombie horde, then you'll just add the power to it. That's what it does. So I think the archetypes that this skill, this collectible skill card is going to fit into are, of course, horde decks. That's sort of mainly where it is, but not exclusively. It is worth saying, because I also think it will work well in skills-based decks. So decks that want to play skills, so for example it might have Nicholas Scratch in, it could have someone like Bishop who likes lots of cheap cards to be played. Cards like Merlin generate skills and actually allow you to play more with cards like Once and Future, shuffling cards into your deck and giving you more energy. So there's some things there. And also the zombie horde is a no power token, so it gets a buff generated from Patriot, so maybe it works in Patriot decks as well. So, some factoids about The Hunger. It is the first collectible one-cost skill. As I said, there are cards like Merlin and indeed Clear that do generate one-cost skills. Gas is working its way through my body because I've just eaten dinner. It was absolutely bloody trebissimo! It was like Italian. It was unbelievable. I cooked it, so, you know, don't... Yes, I have cooking skills and abilities. Don't shoot the messenger. No. But I did have a ciabatta filled with sliced roasted chicken that was left over, smothered in a delicious seasoned homemade roast chicken gravy. I had a gravy mayo with it, a spread of pesto, pieces of freshly roasted squash, and mozzarella. Was that it? That was pretty much it. It was basically inspired by something that I had at Epcot. If you want to see what we got up to at Epcot, check out my theme park / vlog channel, Theme Park Life, even though the video from Epcot isn't up yet, but it will be. So, anyway, it was absolutely freaking delicious. And that is why gas was moving around inside my body. Now, as a reminder, the Horde creates the zombie horde token at another location. I basically went through what Horde did already, so I shouldn't have read that out. That's fine. And all of the value of this card is in the on-reveal effect. Pretty much, unless you personally assign value to it being a skill itself, which if you're playing Nicholas Scratch, of course, that might be relevant. But truly, have we ever had a card where so much of the value is just in the on reveal? I mean, a card like Ironheart is somewhat similar in that all it's doing is the on reveal, but it does give you a body which can be manipulated by things like Cersei and indeed Once and Future, for example. So I'm just saying things for you to consider. And also, this graphic here, RIP Shocker. Guys, is this the end of the Shocker? Shocker is a 2/3, has no abilities, unless you're playing in high evolutionary, sure. Are there any situations where Shocker is just better than Hunger? Okay, so he's got the printed power value, so technically he can't be Shadow Kinged, but other than that, the Hunger is half the cost. I guess you can't control exactly where it is, but yeah, please light a candle for my boy Shocker. So, the pros with the Hunger, the benefits of skills include not taking board space, they can't be Eliathed, and they can't be Negasonic Teenage Warheaded, or NTW'd, if you will. Now, those are obviously some sort of... There's some very specific benefits there, but actually not taking board space, that's really relevant, especially relevant for cards like Hope, Angela, all those things where silky smooth dial decks. Actually, around these parts we call it in the club. We call it in the club because in the club. Actually, around these parts we call it in the club. We call it. Actually, around these parts we call it in the club. We call it in the club because in the. Actually, around these parts, we call it in the club. We call it in the club because in the club you mingle rhymes with Pringle, and Pringles comes in the stack, and that's what you don't want to do with cards in this style of deck, and then you play them all in the same location. It's one of the most cost and space efficient abilities in the game, so you definitely want to re-trigger it with, well, Wong, JTF, we'll talk about that in a minute. Any other ways you can duplicate it as well might be quite valuable too. And there are synergies with, it has synergies with skill stuff, with silky smooth stuff, with Horde stuff, with Patriot stuff. So don't just consider it a Horde card. That is what I would suggest. Now, there are of course cons. You can't easily control where the zombie Horde is going to get created, especially as this is like a one-cost skill. You might be playing it earlier in the game, unless you do hold it for later and you can re-trigger and stuff, but yeah. And it can't easily be copied with cards like Frigga and Bastion. If you want to copy it, you have to do stuff like Moon Girl and Nico Minoru, I think, would be able to copy it as well. Those are things that I've said. So let's talk about the counters for the card. Shadow King, as we've said, and we will continue to say throughout the month as we delve into more Horde cards, Shadow King can reduce the Horde back down to 0, so we don't like that. Cobra, I mean, kind of, but who's putting Cobra in their deck even to combat this? Like, what are you doing? Holding on to Cobra until turn 5 when you then spring it on their Horde location? I don't know, it just doesn't... I'm just not sure about it. And then Cosmo... Sorry, my levels. Why do my levels look absolutely insane? It looks like I'm yelling into the microphone. I would say I'm speaking at a normal volume, but my audio software is telling me that I'm absolutely yelling. If this is giving me... I don't know what you call it, but when the waveforms hit the peak, if this is giving me that, I'm going to be downright disappointed and furious. Anyway, and Cosmo blocks on reveals, so won't actually let the Horde be created or added to, so that's a shame. However, let's talk about the synergies. I have mentioned briefly Wong and Whacking Torres Falcon. This is so sick, especially JTF. I absolutely love this potential combo. This just seems mega sick to me. Like I say, especially if you can find any way to re-trigger it with like Moon Girl or Nico Minoru. I mean, Nico Minoru on Whacking Torres, adding 2 copies of the Hunger to your hand, giving you a 12 power Horde. Now, yes, admittedly that is costing 4 energy for you to do that, but the Horde is... Wait, no, hang on. It's not 12 power, is it? It's 6. It's 24. Guys, it's 24. It's a 424. Okay, now we can be more excited. Zombie Scarlet Witch obviously loves this, not only for the reasons that I said a second ago about Hope and Angela. I don't know why I didn't say Zombie Scarlet Witch, because she is of the same ilk, cut from the same cloth. She appreciates board space not being taken up on her location, so they work hand in hand. And Zombie Giant Man, who I'm not sure I've even played him yet, to be fair, but there's a bus outside, don't know if you can hear it. Distracting to me, distracting to you because I've just mentioned it. You probably didn't even hear it. Very unbelievably loud, by the way. We live very close to a road and it's incredibly loud, and that's absolutely fine. And yeah, Zombie Giant Man is going to get a huge boost from this. If you think Zombie Giant Man's ability is what, Horde +1, and then add the power of the Horde to Zombie Giant Man. If you have Hoarded, you have a 3, it becomes a 4, so Zombie Giant Man becomes a 7 without you doing anything else. So yes, not mind-blowing in itself, but it gets bigger and bigger, doesn't it? So let's talk about the decks that I've got for you. Both Horde decks, although the first one is a Horde slash skills deck. And by the way, I don't know why I've put budget on this. It's not actually a budget deck. It is what? It's got, I think, it's got 2 Series 5 cards in here. So apologies, but I just really wanted to create this deck. And we've got a Premium Plus deck, so we've got an expensive one. But I wanted to show you this deck. Guys, you do probably sort of need Agamotto and Merlin for this deck. Listen, you can swap out Agamotto. It's not the most important thing in the world. But basically, I wanted to do some sort of cool astral projection deck as was brilliant. Astral projection skill-based deck, which means you've kind of got to dart around on reveals. So the main on reveals that we're probably going to be wanting to play from astral projection, God, weird that I can't say that word, are from Agamotto, so the Agamotto spells. It is possible that Merlin will generate some on reveals, so just, don't play astral projection if you've got the skills from Merlin in your hand, or be conscious of playing down Merlin if you've got astral projection in your hand. But otherwise, we're just finding ways to benefit from these skills. So that is cards like Angela, creating all that board space on top of her and giving her the buff. Bishop, like small cards being played, and then we've got stuff like some movers to move off of the Angela location, like Nightcrawler and Vision. Because we got those, we've also got Miles Morales in here as well. Miles Morales can be a great one to use, even with the images of Icon. So it could be fun, could be fine, could be bad, quite frankly. But just a proper Horde deck now. This is a Premium Plus deck because we do have so many Series 5s in here, like JTF, like Zombie Mr. Fantastic. Who else? Frigga, Zombie Scarlet Witch. This one's a bit stacked. But it's doing a vaguely similar sort of thing. But we do have... this thought I could work for it. Obviously couldn't. Also, it's 6:01 PM now. So, the patch will be out. I'm excited to see what all the new information is. Where was I? Good. This is good, honestly. We've got Zombie Mr. Fantastic because the Horde is a created card. So, of course, you could hunger it out on turn... You could hunger on turn 1. Zombie Mr. Fantastic on turn 2. What, you already got like a 4-power Horde. Things are going to get out of control. Is there any other way to create created cards? You've got Frigga, Nico. There kind of is actually ways to create cards. But more benefit from Zombie Mr. Fantastic. But in any case, really the key here is being able to duplicate effects. Being able to do multiple Horde stuff. You can actually bounce the Horde as well. This is a really interesting fact with the Horde. If you bounce the Zombie Horde token and then play a Horde card so that a token gets generated, and then play down your Zombie Horde token that's now in your hand, your future Hordes will add to both, which is really, really cool. And towards the end of the game, you basically Zombie Giant Man on turn 5, create a really big Zombie Giant Man, and then you can do that again with Absorbing Man, and you've still got 2 energy left over, which could be loads of stuff, and then you activate your Zombie Mr. Fantastic. This could actually be really good. I'm looking forward to really delving into the Horde stuff when I get my hands on the hunger, which is something I don't have because I had a delicious meal. Honestly, just reprehensible content. So my star ratings for the hunger are overall 3.5. I do wonder if I'm a tiny bit low on this because I really have to say, if you think about 1/3s in the game, you got 0, you got Agony. Arguably Agony has an inherent downside in that potentially a little bit fragile, and there's a lot of locations where you need to fulfill conditions or block them and all this sort of thing. So Agony just becomes a bit complicated. Obviously you're playing her for the benefit of her in that style of deck. 0 removes the abilities from things, so they both have inherent downsides. I don't know who else is a 1/3, but 1/3 is definitely a premium stat line for a 1-cost card. And this is just that, and you're also potentially benefiting from it being a skill. So I think this is actually quite solid. I think from a fun perspective, generally speaking, I think the Horde stuff is quite fun, so I've given it 3.5 stars. For the archetype, this is one of the absolute best Horde cards, in my opinion, so 4 stars. And from a competitive standpoint, I actually do think we'll see this in the meta. I think it will really put the Horde archetype on the map. I think this card will do it. So I'll give him 4 stars. that's there too. And so yeah, ultimately, like the fact that it is available through Sanctum Showdown as well, of course it is a snap, guys. It's it's free, innit? It's free. You don't have to pay money for it, innit? Because you just pay time. You play the game, which hopefully you enjoy anyway, and then you get rewarded with this. And you enjoyed playing the game, and then you get this. So it's good. Everyone wins. Everyone's happy. Thank you very much for watching. I don't know, has this been like weirdly unhinged? I don't know what my mood's been like. Characterise my mood in the comments below. Shout out Harry Perry because I stole your idea. I'm probably going to I'm going to stop assigning this idea to you soon. Which, even saying that, sounds just evil. But yeah, shout out Harry Perry. If you stayed this far, post a watermelon. I don't know if it's always going to be a watermelon. I do feel I have literally just plagiarised Harry Perry, so it is bad. How do I stop crediting him? The only reason that I would say that I want to stop crediting him, which I don't want to stop crediting him, I just don't want saying that to be as cumbersome, that's all. Maybe I should create a little graphic, and it does have Harry Perry on, and maybe a watermelon, and maybe makes a noise. Anyway, this video has probably been certainly 10 or 15 minutes longer than it should have been. I'll see you next time. Cheers. Awful. Delete. Hello everyone, welcome to Res Snapper. My name's MJ, and this is Snap or Pass, where we look at the new cards coming to the game. This week we've got Sanctum Showdown and a brand new Series 4 card available through it, which is The Hunger. This is a one-cost skill, although I appreciate Zombie Captain America or Colonel America, whoever that is blocking the cost. But I promise you it is a one-cost skill. On reveal, Horde +3. In this video, we'll talk about how you can obtain it, how much it costs. I don't know, so spoilers, that information isn't here. And we're going to just have a fun time talking about the decks and all these things. You can skip to the chapter below if you want to. Otherwise, True Legends, stay until the very end. The Hunger. Yes, this is my mic's over there. So all that's gone. So that's good. All of that is at the end of the video now because this is an outtake. So that's good. And we're all very happy about this. Hello, everyone. Welcome.